From the moment Hillary Clinton conceded the election to Donald Trump, I've been stuck again. As news of Trump's plans for his first days in office rolled out on the internet, each new post made me want to get under my blankets and hide. For a while, that's mostly what I've done. I don't think of myself as a strong person. But hiding away doesn't help anything or anyone, including me. And though I'm not very good at doing the things for me, I know there's not just a country, but a whole world that needs help right now. Leslie Knope said, "Find your team and get to work." My team is the Geeky Social Issues community on YouTube. So, getting to work. Hello, Paul Talkers and other viewers. I'm Paul, 41, based out of Los Angeles, a registered independent voter, and I voted for Hillary Clinton for president. Recently, I've been telling myself that I can let myself suck, that I can do videos about whatever I want, in whatever order, and then the United States elected Trump president. And I felt like I needed to make my next video about this world that we are in now. A world where Trump has president-elect in front of his name. And I want to help. So I went on the internet and I asked people for their questions and what baffles them or frustrates them about this situation. So here's what I've got. Jamie, Jessica, Annalise, they all asked variations of this question. Things like, how could so many women throw in with Trump? Why does the US hate women so much? Why do people hate Hillary Clinton so much? The answer to all these things is the same. Patriarchy. We are all of us raised in systems that tell us, in education, in entertainment, in governmental actions, that everything is for men. So much so that even the suggestion that this is bad, that this should be changed, that this even exists, will make most people in these systems react defensively or aggressively against it. And Hillary Clinton, a woman running for president, that action itself says that the patriarchy is not something that's good and should be overthrown, with a woman having the seat of highest power in the United States. So no matter what, lots of people were going to oppose Hillary Clinton and say that they hate her without being able to verbalize why, because they don't understand that they are in a patriarchy and that it is bad. These are just my opinions on what's going on, and they may not help anything, but hopefully they'll reduce some of your confusion about how we've gotten here. Jamie, Alexandra, Killer BB, they all were upset about the fact that half of all registered voters didn't show up. I read a quote that non-voters are disproportionately lower income and members of minority, racial/ethnic groups. I think that a lot of the people who are registered to vote saw that none of the candidates were for them. Lots of people who are disabled, who are people of color, who are people of other religions, or who have come to the United States from other places, they could see that although Clinton might be better than Trump, neither candidate was really for them, and so they were disillusioned. If nobody's on your side, you don't want to come to the fight at all. Beth Hartzell, Jessica, they're upset because of the VRA being gutted. Voting laws have also impacted voter turnout. More than 21 million otherwise eligible voters didn't possess the necessary forms of voter identification, according to the ACLU. That's 21 million people. Many of those people would have voted for Clinton. This is why it's so important to pay attention to midterm elections, to local elections. We need to get representatives not just for president, but also in Congress, who will not fight the president when the president wants to appoint a Supreme Court justice who isn't gonna suck. Annalise wonders, why did anyone other than white men vote for Trump? The thing about white supremacy and misogyny is that if it surrounds you your entire life, that is normal to you. You probably think that is the way things should be. You think things like, women shouldn't hold that highest office. Women will think this. People of color will think that keeping foreigners out of our country is a good thing, because they're surrounded by white supremacy and patriarchy. Jessica asks, I'm baffled by the media. Why did they recognize him as a viable candidate? Sometime in the last few years, the idea of being a journalist who presents facts got conflated with giving all sides of a story equal weight, which is not a valid way to present stories, because some sides of a story are awful. Sometimes people are victims and other people are attackers. Sometimes people are oppressed and other people are the oppressors. Those sides don't have equal weight. But if you present everything as if both sides are equally weighted, or all sides of a story are equally weighted, then your story can get more views. That's what they pursue. They pursue the views. They pursue the loads of their webpage. They pursue the purchases of their newspaper or magazine, even if what they're selling is bullshit. That's how Donald Trump, who did not have any validity to be a presidential candidate, who nobody should have said this is okay to, got presented as being equal to the other candidates. Chloe wondered, how does a man who poops in gold-plated toilets run on a populist platform and win? I think to a lot of people, particularly people of low income, Donald Trump represented the so-called great American dream, that you could start with little and end up with the highest of economic and social successes. This is a dream that is only pushed by people who are in the white, privileged upper tiers of our society. And if you have almost nothing, it's appealing to you. That's why people buy lottery tickets too. Donald Trump was like buying a lottery ticket for the presidency. TJ asked, how did no one predict this? Why did every poll I see no doubtedly predict a Hillary win? There were lots of predictions that Trump would win. Hell, I follow a lot of Twitterers who said that. And some political science models predicted this as well. Even journalists who found out about the political science models that predicted Trump's win dismissed it because they thought of Trump as a joke, not a mainstream candidate, not a viable candidate. So even when they found out that that was possible, they just didn't report it as significant because they didn't want to believe it. Confirmation bias in journalists. That doesn't help us. Lady Bumblebee, Mary, asked, how can Trump supporters claim to have only voted for him based on his policies? Alright, so if you're in the midst of a racist society, or a misogynistic one, or a xenophobic one, you think that that is normal, and not racist, misogynistic, xenophobic. You don't think that those terms apply to you. They must apply to someone who's much more extreme than you, because you're a normal American who's voting based on things like economic plans and promises. But the thing is, if you are able to ignore the racist dangers, then you are benefiting from racism. Same for misogyny, same for xenophobia, same for ableism. If you can ignore those problems, then you are benefiting from those things. And so, people are in denial. Mary also asked, how can those people not call out the ones who are racist and xenophobic and misogynistic? But the thing is, if you're already ignoring those problems in order to vote for Trump for other reasons, you're not going to see those as big enough problems in your fellow voters to call them out. Digby asks, America, do you even know what you've done? The Trump supporters who are still Trump supporters know what they've done and are happy about it. The rest of us, we're trying to come to grips with it. Nirali asks, why wasn't there widespread regret for this like there was for Brexit? I feel like the big difference between Brexit and Trump is that the people who voted for Brexit, many of them were misled. They thought that they were actually doing something that's going to be positive for the economy of their country. And when they saw that immediately negative economic ramifications happened, they felt bad about it. But most of the people who voted for Trump are racist, are xenophobic, are homophobic, transphobic, ableist, misogynist. So when they see the ramifications of Trump's presidency, the fact that there's all these hate crimes happening, that doesn't upset them. That's what they want to happen. They want to drive out the people that they hate. So why would they regret it when it's starting to happen? Livy asks, how can we stay positive with someone like him in charge? Rachel asks, how do we combat the hate that I keep seeing online? It's not a matter of staying positive, though if you can, that's great. It's a matter of surviving. What hateful people want is to stamp out what they hate. Living, surviving, holding on, fighting if you can, that's how we act against it. Rachel asks, how do I ever want to leave my bed again? I mean, beds are great. I have a hard time leaving mine. I would say you should leave your bed to be in the company of people you care about and who make you feel better, more hopeful, less disconnected, less lonely. That's why you leave your bed, to be around those people. Livy asks, as activists, what should be our next step? Rachel asks, what to do now? Every day, everything is a test. It's a challenge, it's an obstacle. Some of us can deal with more or more difficult of those things than others of us can. Do what you can. If you have money, donate to PlannedParenthood.org, reproductiverights.org, NRDC.org, refugeerights.org, NAACPLDG.org, thetrevorproject.org, maldef.org, propublica.org. Links to all of those will be in the description. If you have time and energy, go out and protest or work for one of those organizations I just mentioned. Keep posting on social media and coming back to how Trump being president and all his staff appointments are not okay and they're not normal. Try asking everybody with a platform to speak out about this, even people who don't normally say anything political. Everyone should speak out about this. So those are all the questions I got, and I didn't really mean for this to become a Q&A, mostly because I don't have a lot of facts to give you for these things. I have lots of opinions to give you. And here are some thoughts I wanted to end on. Feeling awful sucks, and most people don't want to feel that way all the time. So we come up with coping mechanisms. Some of them are healthy, some of them are not healthy. But one built-in mechanism that human beings have is adapting to whatever awful circumstance we're in and acting like this is normal and okay. I don't want any of you to feel awful, even the ones who could have voted for Hillary Clinton but didn't. Because feeling awful doesn't help anything. But for these 4 years, when we're going to have Donald Trump as president, I want you to wake up every day and remind yourself, this is not normal. This is not okay. This is not something we should get used to. Every day, hashtag Trump isn't normal. But that's not the thing I want to end on. Here's something I've struggled with for literally most of my life, but maybe never as much as in the last couple of weeks. And that is this. It is okay to feel good. If something is funny, it's okay to laugh. If something is beautiful to you, it is okay to smile at it. When you're with people you care about, it is okay to enjoy their company. If something positive happens to you, or around you, or as part of something that you like, it is okay to feel positive feelings about that, even though everything is terrible and a hashtag Trump isn't normal. Those sound like conflicting ideas. To remember how terrible everything is and not get used to it, but also to feel good, I get it. I'm not sure where it comes from for me, but I feel guilty when I think I should be depressed, but something makes me want to feel good. But those are separate things. Refusing to accept the Trump presidency is about thinking and fighting. Allowing yourself to feel good about literally anything that doesn't involve hurting other people is about being alive and human. We can't fight oppression and marginalization if we don't let ourselves be alive and human. We have to do both, or we'll burn out. And like I just did, we'll spend a week and a half in bed. It's okay to hide in bed sometimes. But no matter how little or how much you can do when you're not in bed, when you're working, that is an amount that is good, and we need it. We need you. So take care of yourself, let yourself feel good, but don't let any of this become normal. And when you're ready, find your team and get to work. If you like what I had to say here, please share this video on Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook so that it can get to more people. I want to thank all my Patreon patrons, but especially Melissa, Zainab, Matt, Ewan, Rebecca, and Mandy. If you'd like to support me too, please join my Patreon. If you want to see more of my videos, please subscribe so I can reach 10,000 subscribers and get access to the YouTube space. Click on either of these thumbnails to see past videos of mine. And you've made it to the end. Thank you so much. Here's where I always say, tomorrow will be even better.